Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, Mom gets mad we don't want to stay in the living room with her. Entitled parent getting laughed at the petting zoo. My child needs a window seat. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Mom gets mad we don't want to stay in the living room with her. Some backstory: 3 years ago my dad died from a heart attack that he was told would happen if he didn't stop smoking but ignored it, and since then my mom will not let me and my brother go. So in the evening when my brother and I, are in our room and not in the living room with my mom, she gets extremely mad. It starts small, like, "Are you guys not going to stay in the living room?" But then it turns into her screaming and threatening to take away our phones if we don't stay with her. This is normally toward my brother because I mostly spend most of my time on my room, but if my brother refuses to go with her, she'll start saying, "Opie, are you not going to come and show a good example to your brother?" It's honestly irritating, also because if I want to sleep in my room, only when I tell her, she'll scream at me to stay in the living room. I once decided to sleep in my room and not stay in the living room, and she came up to me and slapped my leg, screaming at me to sleep where she could see me. She says she's just scared of being left alone in the house and all this will change when we get a new house, but I don't think it will change anytime soon. Maybe you could suggest some grief counseling for her. We already did some, she didn't want to continue it. Your mom needs professional help. She did and didn't like that the therapist wouldn't enable her, apparently. I'm so sorry to hear your mom is taking her grief out on you and your brother. She's desperately trying to take control of what she can. It's understandable, but wrong doing it to you and your brother like this. Entitled parent getting laughed at the petting zoo. So this just happened today at my work. I work at a petting zoo. There were 2 kids, 8 and 11, who came in and started terrorizing everyone here. They started saying every curse word under the sun to everyone and harassed my animals by running after them and kicking them. One of my colleagues was taking a phone call and the kids decided that she was a good target for some reason. This woman cannot take confrontation. They started walking into her while she was sitting down and screaming in her ears. Eventually she pushed them away and said, "Do you mind? I'm on a phone call." I was not present during this, but my colleague came to me distressed about the kids. I went to them and asked them again politely to leave. I asked them before, but they did not leave. That was enough for the kids to stay out by the gate and scream and kick the fences. We told them to stop multiple times politely, but to no avail. Eventually they circled around and threw stuff, unknown what it actually was, to my goats and sheeps. They came back around and started bad-mouthing us yet again. Another one of my colleagues went to them and asked them to cool down. The profanity that came out of their mouth just shocked me. How can such young kids have such a vocabulary? I walked a little further away while I saw my colleague going for the hose. I knew what he was gonna do. While I was inside, I heard the kids scream. Today was quite a hot day, 30 Celsius, 86 Fahrenheit, so I didn't think it was that bad what he did. The colleague came back with a big smile. I asked him what he did even though I already knew. He said he sprayed them, now they should be cooled down, he chuckled. They went away. Fast forward 20 minutes later and the kids come back, with the mom. She is so mad that she almost slammed the door into the kid's face, almost. I'm already thinking this should be interesting. Can you explain to me why my son came home crying? She yelled. Me and my colleagues look at each other and they just started laughing. Even though I didn't laugh, I also found it quite funny. We explained to the mom what happened and she is not taking it. You pushed my son to the ground, he is only 8. She yelled as she pointed to my female colleague from earlier. She is dumbfounded because she didn't push him to the ground but push him away. She explains it. The mom does not believe her. She demonstrated what she did with a colleague. What happened? That doesn't excuse you for touching my kid, Mommy said. My colleague calmly but with some panicked voice explains that her kids kept walking into her while she was on her phone and screaming into her ears. Still doesn't excuse you, mommy crossed her arms. My colleague stood up and walked away. She focuses her attention to the other colleague. And you? She pointed at him. You destroyed my son's bike while spraying them with water. This colleague does not take BS from anyone and said to her, do you want to know why? There is no excuse, you destroyed his bike. Mom said. This is where I jump in because I have not been present for both those interactions, but no one talks to my colleagues like this. So what is broken? I asked politely. The battery. She huffed. I'm already dumbfounded because a battery can take some water. Does it work? I ask. Yes, but. I interrupted her. So nothing is broken. That's not the point, he shouldn't have sprayed them with water. Mom said. I understand your anger, ma'am, but your boys did ask for this, I said. Trying to explain what the boys did in order for them to receive a hose. Mom did not like my reasoning because son dearest can't do anything wrong. I explained that action have consequences. But nope, this action was uncalled for. I tell her that her kids were really rude to me and my staff, not only that but the words they yelled at me and visitors around here were not welcome in here. He would never say that. Our camera will say otherwise. This point she realizes the cameras. So you have proof that one of your colleagues attacked my kid and the other one using brute force, the water spraying, on them. I will get my husband here and he already has a criminal record, so you better watch your tongue. My male colleague talks down on the women. Respect is earned and the way they are behaving they do not get any respect. Is that a threat? I ought to sue you for damage. Me jumping back in, I recall you said nothing broke. Well, if it does I know where to find you, pointing at my colleague. This sounds like a threat and we do not take kindly to threats, my colleague said. Is that a threat? She said. Take that how you will. They go back and forward, not going anywhere and repeating the same stuff over and over. Somewhere in the back and forward the kid said, what kind of petting zoo mistreats kids? Eventually, I jump back in again. The ones who deserve it. Mom turns her anger to me. I have a problem with your colleagues, the one who abused my kid and is secretly listening in and the one who hosed them. It is my problem if you threaten my colleagues. Fire them, the mom said. Excuse me? I was surprised by this response. You heard me, fire them, they both abused my kids. Ma'am, please leave, we aren't getting anywhere here and your attitude towards my colleagues and me is not welcome here. Actions have consequences, do they not? Yes ma'am, and so do yours, so this is your last chance, before we call the police. This is the moment she realizes she is not getting anywhere with us. While walking away she screamed, I know you're open till 7:30 and my husband will come. None of us corrected her because we are open till 5 and this happened at 4:30. I was kinda hoping mom would get the hose. It raises its kids correctly or it gets the hose again. Her POS husband has a criminal record and her kids soon will also have one. My husband already has a criminal record. And with how you're raising your children, they soon will have one, too. Well, that's good. He already knows what it is like to spend the night in jail. Wow. So that's what she has to brag about? The proud wife of a felon and the mother to 2 more. Nice family. Issue a ban on her and her family. As a private entity, you reserve the right to admission onto the property, and blast about it on social media about how entitled their attitude is alongside posting all the videos about their entitled behavior. These people don't listen to reason. They listen to the fears of getting cancelled. So, cancel them before they try to do the same to you. You should have called the cops, trespass all 3, make a complaint against the boys for animal cruelty, and you said you have security cameras. Capture their faces, print them out, write banned for animal cruelty, and then place them on front gate area, calling it wall of shame. My child needs a window seat. Just an annoying entitled parent encounter from earlier this month. Mom let one of her kids take up an entire 4-person spot on a train because he needs a window seat? Stopping me, my brother, dad and stepmom from sitting together. She literally told us he needed it when we asked if he could move so we could ride the train together, keeping in mind that it was one window seat in a set of 4 together. Kid was sitting alone in the 4-person space, his mom and 2 other siblings opposite him in another 4-person family spot. No clue why mom didn't let him sit in her window seat though, seeing as the seat next to her was occupied by her bag, which would probably have survived being moved to the floor. Didn't help that the window-requiring child was gnawing on a biscuit and seemed to be in need of blowing his nose. So yeah, the 4 of us didn't get to sit together, but this kid got a seat for 4 all to himself. Can't be helped I guess, since it really looked like he needs the window spot. I would have had 3 of us sit with the kid, and 1 with the mom. Whoever sat with the mom mimics the kid too. Split your party up, but whoever gets to sit next to this kid needs to either be eating chocolate or cookies. They will never be giving even a taste to this kid. Let his EM deal with him wanting chocolate or cookies, since that will not be a you problem, but a her problem. I like this. Make the kid and mom suffer because of their own selfishness. Even the whining and crying would sound like music because it would be proof that they suffered a consequence for their entitled behavior. Open window, throw the child out, issue resolved. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.